So I was given the task of introducing Helen Crowley. I assume you all were at graduation, right? So you heard Noah Meyerhoff's speech? Yeah, what he said. Good night, everybody. Okay, just kidding, sort of. We've heard so much over the last few weeks about the impact Helen has had, from the gathering that included friends, colleagues, and former and current students, to our departmental hosted shindig, to Noah's graduation speech. Aren't we all just getting a little tired of it? Enough already, Helen. We know how great you are. Just go. But really, if anyone deserves all the accolades, all the kind words, all of the honor and recognition of your unbelievable accomplishments over the last 30-odd years, it's you. So while in honor of Helen's stature, I'll be short today. Even though there's only so much more to add to what's already been said, I do have just a little bit. At one of the earlier retirement celebrations, I said that Helen makes me a better teacher, a better person, and a better American. I wanted to take this opportunity to explain a little bit about what that means to me. Helen, as you all know by now, brings an extraordinary passion for history and love for teaching, and especially planning curriculum to her work in the classroom. When we started to plan our U.S. history curriculum this year, we talked about having a year of Helen's greatest hits, topics she loves, her best lessons. And Helen, I know it didn't quite work out that way, but I also think I know why. It's because you just have too damn many of them. Each day in your classroom could be a greatest hit. Sand from the beaches of Normandy, Marie Antoinette in an Enlightenment salon, standing on a desk as Frederick Douglass asks about the 4th of July, Pink and Say, Winnie the Pooh, Studs Terkel, Chicago. There are so many of them. But ultimately, in U.S. history at least, it comes down to the central question you ask your students, and the one I think has the most impact on everyone who you come into contact with. What does it mean to be an American? It seems so simple, but in this day and age, is there a more important question to ask? For your students and your colleagues, it's not just in the material you teach where we find this answer. It's in you, in your actions, in how you engage your students and us each and every day, where we can see the answer. So what do we learn from you about this not so simple question? What do we learn about what it means to be an American? We learn it means being passionate and determined. We learn it means being wicked smart and scrupulously demanding. We learn it means taking risks. We learn it means challenging injustice and inspiring others to do the same. We learn it means being fierce and proud. It means asking questions and demanding answers. Sometimes we learn it means being overwhelmed and exhausted, but we also learn that it means it's okay to rely on friends, or, as you so often do, be a friend to someone who needs one. We learn it means choosing to participate in expanding our universe of obligation. We learn it means being funny and cool. Wait, what? How did that get in there? Okay, maybe we didn't learn those things. Most of all, though, we learn being an American means being empathetic and kind. Yes, Helen, you are an American, the best of us, and you continue to teach your students, to teach me, to teach us all what it means to be one too. In her last class with U.S. history students, Helen reads them an excerpt from a speech Teddy Roosevelt gave to French university students at the Sorbonne. Indulge me while I read a short passage. In it, he said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." Helen, for as long as I've known you, you have been that woman in the arena. That fierce, intense, emotional badass of a woman in the arena. And being so, you've never failed to inspire me. You've never failed to remind all of us to be in the arena with you, here every day in your classroom, in our office, in the building, here at Deerfield. You've reminded us all we can be better. Perhaps even more importantly, you've always reminded us that what we do here in this school, in our arena, matters a lot. In many ways, I can't imagine doing it without you, but rest assured, although I will certainly come short again and again, we all will continue to strive valiantly in our arena here at Deerfield High School. So now, for one last time, right? This is really it, Helen, right? It's finally over now. After this, we can be done. No more goodbyes, no more retirement celebrations. This is really it. I feel like, Ferris Bueller at the end, at the end credits. Like, you're still here? It's over. Go home. Colleagues, it's my great honor and pleasure to introduce for one last time my mentor, my partner, above all, my friend, Helen Crowley.
Otherwise, you're not going to see me. Maybe just like that. Before I do anything else, I need to point out that this is a Shure microphone that my husband helped design. I need to say that because he was not happy with me on last Sunday when I didn't use the mic. I'm going to ask you guys to indulge me because after Ken, I need to do this. So if you'll do this with me. Will you ground your feet? Close your eyes and rest your hands. Sit up nice and tall. With an exhale, release your shoulders. Inhale deeply into the belly. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. I don't think I really need to do that more than right now. So mornings are my happy times. And I started this morning really early at sunrise at the beach with my daughter Charlotte. For the past 25 years, it's been a first day of school thing. But today, it seemed right for it to be a last day of school thing. On the first night of every show that I've directed, I have read to the cast from Thoreau's Walden about morning time, when there is a dawn in me, and the importance of sucking the marrow out of each day. This year, I have tried to do that, to savor and perhaps slow down the inevitable passage of the year, knowing that today would come and this would be it. A dawn, a moment to savor, but what to say. So I can start, as I start classes after we breathe, with Crowley's Credo. History is the story of people who make choices who might have chosen otherwise. Being here, teaching, was not the obvious choice it seems right now. I had my eyes set on the law, following in my father's very big footsteps. But then he surprised me and talked me out of pursuing the law. I was confused in the moment, but today, here, I'm so very grateful that he made the choice to say what he did. I'm really grateful that the department chair at ETHS, where I student taught and desperately wanted to get a job, didn't hire me and encouraged me to check out Deerfield. Really? Really? Deerfield? And he said, just go talk to John Heerman. That was a good choice, because it led me to sharing these 32 years with the absolute best people I know. And I have been honored to share a profession, a home, and a life with. I cannot bring myself to speak about the amazing humans in this room without breaking down. But know that my favorite moment of the year, every year, is the first day of school. Not because of all of the that goes on, but because I get to walk through the halls and smile with people and share hugs and remember, oh my God, that's right, I like you so much. So, you know who you are. Thank you, and I love you. What I really would like to do is bring a few people back into this space. Again, far too many to name, far more than I have time to share today, but with apologies to the many I won't name, but who mattered, and to younger colleagues for whom these names could be in my history class. I hope you'll humor the old lady. I have been honored to be, from the very beginning, surrounded by incredible models of leadership. Linda Hansen, one of my favorite superintendents, who inspired me every day to reach, who told us that if we can't do it, it can't be done. John Scornavaco, who saw leadership as blocking the bullshit that gets in the way of other people doing what's best for kids. Audrey Griffith, whose door was always open and who showed that one could be strong and soft-hearted at the same time. And John Heerman, who knew that what you needed to do was not to coach the teacher in front of you, but the teacher that that person was going to be in 5 years. And who taught this content-obsessed young teacher that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And then colleagues who taught me about relationships. Linda Weatherby, who always reminded us that the kids come and go, and as important as they are, we're the ones who stay. So we need to take care of each other. Paul Morenz, who modeled love and commitment to kids every single day, even when his days were terribly hard. Kip Gasper, who has the amazing ability to make the loftiest, most difficult of concepts somehow accessible to anyone, even me. My graduation gift, my retirement gift from him was an advanced calculus book, because we made a deal a long time ago that he was going to teach me calculus. He told me he can do it without numbers. I don't believe it, but listen. And Susan Gorman, who always reminded us that what matters most is how we treat each other. All of these people made choices to be their best selves, and more importantly, to assume that in others. We all know that there's been some dysfunction in our district, and sometimes that can feel overwhelming. It can feel like the thing that is most pressing. As are the challenges that our students increasingly bring to us. But over the last 32 years, through all of the ups and downs, I have always known that people have my back. As Sue Hepson said, we're all doing our part. We are at our best when we function together, when we get out of our silos, get to know each other, get to know the realities of the work that people do in other parts of the building. And when we do that, when we get to know the people on a human level, this place is magical. I am honored to work with amazing human beings in every department in this building. A spectacular tech crew, effervescent librarians, lovely health services, patient counselors, ever patient, admin staff, security, custodians, ground crew, cafeteria, coaches, and sponsors. All of us here to do one thing: what's best for kids. Some things we have little control over, but we do have the ability to choose to assume the best in people, to choose to treat each other with kindness and celebration, to be the David and Glynis Hirsches of the world. As hard as it is to leave the people in this room, I am glad to know that we have building leadership that is all about that. They have our backs. Make sure that we make the choices to have theirs. Okay, it's long past time that I should shut up, but my department knows when I get on a topic I'm passionate about, like the French Wars of Religion or Lincoln's second inaugural address, trust me, you want to read every word. It's hard for me to stop. It's also hard because as much as I'm looking forward to never grading another so-so paper or project, that's not what this job has been. Mostly, this life has been about getting up in the morning and facing the dawn with the knowledge that ours is a life of purpose, that what we do matters, more than people outside of our jobs can ever really understand, even though our jobs are really public. It is in the moments and exchanges that very few people see that the magic happens. And I am not ready to be away from that kind of a place. But it's time. So, I'm going to leave you all the way I say goodbye to my seniors. Imagine, if you will, and I didn't bring it with me, but imagine that I am passing out a ball of yarn and that you are each taking hold of it. And when it comes back to me, I'll hold the knot. It represents all of the various ways that we are connected to each other, to our students, to the past, and to the future. And then now for the important, serious text from the last chapter of The House at Pooh Corner, where Christopher Robin is going away and his friends in the forest are saying goodbye. Just as all the animals in the forest knew, I know that things are going to be different. Yet we here together have inhabited a kind of enchanted place. Looking around, there are plenty of Poohs and Piglets in this room. And just like Christopher Robin, I find myself looking out over the world and wishing it wouldn't stop. So I'm trusting A.A. Milne, who assures me that wherever they go, and whatever happens along the way, in that enchanted place at the top of the forest, a little teacher and her students and her dear friends and colleagues will always be playing. Thank you for being my enchanted place. And please never forget what an incredible, magical place this is, because we have chosen to be here together, we made the right choice.